So today I want to ask a question here. Digital versus physical game collections. Which one should you have? What kind should you buy? A digital game or a physical game? Both of them have their pros and cons. Let's see which one is worse. We'll start with physical games. Physical games are awesome, okay? I have a bunch of physical games, okay? Any game, I have thousands of them. Not thousands, but I have a lot of them right there, okay? It's always cool to open this up, to see the box, and you have your game in there. That's cool. And with digital games, you don't have that. You don't have the box to look at. You don't have the box art to look at. You don't have a manual, which not a lot of games come with a manual nowadays anyway. You don't have that. You don't have the physical game. You can't bring it somewhere. But is that something people do now? That's the question we're asking. What is better now? Personally, I think digital is the way to go. There will always be a place for physical games. Okay, I love the boxes. Last year when I got Madden 17, I made my own box art. A really crappy picture of Matthew Stafford on there. I made a whole video about it, and it's crap. But it's still cool to have the box, to have the game. To be able to put it all in a row and say, hey, look at my game collection. There are hundreds of people online that have a super huge game collection with a whole shelf of just millions of games, and it looks so cool. And with digital, you don't have that. But with digital games, they don't break. If you lose a game, a physical game, or if it gets scratched if it's a CD, or if it gets too worn out if it's a cartridge, then you're screwed. You cannot play it if it's too scratched or if you lose it. You cannot lose a digital game. This is on your system. Sure, you might sell your system and you no longer have the game, but that doesn't mean anything. A lot of people say, well, if you don't like the game, then you can sell it if it's physical, but you can't if it's, digital. That is true, but you don't, how much are you going to sell it for? Most games, after, a week or two of being on shelves, drop down in price. And a week after that, they drop even more. They don't stay $60 for that long. If you want to be relevant in that certain game, you have to get it when it first comes out. It's $60 with most games. So you pay $60 for the game, bring it home, and then play it a little bit, and what if you don't like it? Well, then if it's a digital, you can't sell it. Or you just, sit here and download it if it was a digital game. But if it's a physical game, if you want to go sell it, the highest I've ever gotten for a physical game to trade in was $11. And that was a DS game. That was pretty rare, and I didn't know it was rare until I sold it. But that's the highest I've ever gotten. On a DS game that was $30, or on a normal AAA game, which is $60, to get $11, which is the highest I've ever gotten back, that's nothing. And at that point, you've had the game for so long anyway. Nobody just sells the game its first week, unless you absolutely hate it. But even games that I hate, absolutely despise, I still have. Well, one of them I sold, but I have some games over there that I hate, but I still have them. I don't just sell them because they're bad. I sell them, most of the times if I sell a game, it's because it's either too old, or it doesn't work, or I no longer have the system. When I had my PS2, I had hundreds of PS2 games, but I sold it. So I didn't need it. Or when I lost my DS, I couldn't play the games, so I sold them. Those are the only times I ever sell games. I don't ever just... Sometimes if I'm looking for something new and I have a game that I hate, I just sell. I don't just sell them on a whim. So that argument, to me, maybe you guys do, I don't know. But to me, it wouldn't matter that much. And digital cannot get scratched. Some people use the argument that your digital, if something happens with your hardware, you're screwed because you can't get the games, and if they just delete or whatever. First off, they don't just delete. I've seen it when I was looking at other YouTube videos about this subject. Scrolling down in the comments, they're like, what if the game just deletes? I've never had a game just gone. And they're saying, what if your hard drive, something happens with that and all of your games broken or something? Sure, that's something. But then you'll no longer have the system. And if you get a new system, your account, you can just sign back into your account and then re-download all the games you had on that account. So the account's still there, it's just your system wouldn't work anymore. So personally, I would go digital. There's always a place for physical games. I love physical games. I'm kind of sad that I'm getting Madden 18 right now. I'm downloading it as we speak, which has been taking forever. I'm kind of sad I don't have the box for that because I wanted to do some other art for it, make it better, make it the way that I really want to, put more time and effort into it. I got a new computer, since the last time I did one last year. But I'm not going to have it. I have it on digital like I did Madden 16, but I have every single Madden game since Madden 02. From 02 to 18 now. And 2 of them, 16 and 18, I have digital. So I can't line it up in my collection. You know, that's kind of something, but digital, I've always had a problem with discs. Like my NBA 2K17. I had to get a completely new version of that because my disc wouldn't work. And then my other disc only works a few times. And it doesn't have any scratches on it. It has like one scratch right there, and then like it just freezes sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Most of the times it doesn't when I boot it up. But sometimes when it's on the loading screen, it just freezes and then doesn't do anything. And then I can't play it for like a week. I've never had a problem with digital games like that. So personally, I would go digital. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the box, because I would like to have a box there, just to line it up in a line. But I would go digital. Tell me what you think in the comments down below, physical or digital. Tell me what you have most of, and tell me why you prefer that. Leave a like on this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. See more content from me. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Subscribe to become a monster. Bye!